Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Salesperson of the Month podcast for April. I'm very, very excited to welcome back Danielle Morris. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Good. Again, this is a very early one. I don't know if you saw last month. I'm sure you did, but Ollie Spence was moaning about it being early. It's early again, isn't it?
Yeah. But, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed,
Exactly. Yeah. And the only reason I've got these lights on is to try and get a bit of a better complexion at this time of the morning. It's quite nice. So, of course, first of all, a massive congratulations in two parts, really. Great performance for April in terms of your sales performance yourself, but also a big congratulations for the recent promotion into sales manager. How's that going?
Yeah, thank you. And to be honest, it's so far so good. I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like it's been quite a smooth transition. Loving the role. Obviously, it brings new challenges, but I think when you have new challenges, that kind of pushes you to grow. And so I'm really, really enjoying it.
Fantastic. No, I think you got off to a great start. I think, the numbers speak for themselves from not just you, the team last month. So now you're in this new role. We're going to play a game. Normally we have get to know Danielle or get to know the person. It's get to know your team, and you're probably going to get in trouble with a few of them. But I've got 5 questions, okay? And you've got to give me an honest answer on each one about your team. Are you ready?
Okay, go.
Question 1. Who is the best cook in the team?
The best cook. So that would probably be. None of them are that good.
Get off the fence, Daniel. Come on.
I'm going to go with Jack.
Wow.
Well, aside from me, obviously.
I'm just shocked you just said Jack, because we've all seen Jack pack lunches. Are embarrassing. So, what's he made, which is so good?
Well, I know that he's a fellow foodie like me. I don't actually know if he can actually cook, but I know that he likes nice food. So I'm going to go with that.
Okay. Who's the worst?
The worst, probably, I think it would be Ellie, because I remember her mentioning she doesn't cook, and she doesn't like it. So that doesn't say to me that she's necessarily good at it.
Ellie, if you're watching, apologise.
Sorry, Ellie.
Who's the best quota on the team? Who's the slickest quota?
I would probably hand that over to Ollie Spence. He heads up Octo, one of our probably a more complex quoting system. So, that would be him.
Yeah, no, he's good. And Octa quotes can be complex if you've not seen them for the first time. So I think he's doing a very good job of talking partners through those quotes too. And I think just touching on that, what's exciting as well is now we've got this sales support function in. We normally get our quotes turned around in an hour if we can. Sales support team, we should get even quicker and even slicker with that. So very excited for our partners that we've got that team in place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's got the worst music taste? Don't include me in that. It's not fair.
So I know that Jack shares a similar type of music taste to me, so he's safe.
Jack thinks he's cool because he just puts one extra on the radio, and I think he thinks I don't think he likes it. I think he just puts it on.
I saw this DJ once. I would probably say, possibly, I might have to go with Ellie again.
Getting dug out.
Yeah, sorry, Ellie. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ellie.
Wow. Okay. Who is Mr. or Mrs. Vendor? Who's the person in your team who just loves their vendor? If you cut them open, they would bleed their colours. Who's that person?
Probably Ollie Spence again, Miss Doctor for sure. And I would go with Zita for Beyond ID. That's one of our newest vendors, and she's hit the ground running with it. She's done over 20 demos. She loves it. She can talk about it. Free reign. She's Beyond ID.
Yeah, I think Ollie. We all know about Ollie, but I think Zita in terms of Beyond Identity. If there are any partners watching, do speak to Zita, because that is massively taken off extremely quickly. All the feedback we've had is fantastic. So you want to get on that and speak to Zita if you can. Okay, last question. Who is the biggest swag hunter in the team? Who's always, if there's a parcel turns up for marketing and there's a few T-shirts in there, who's the person trying to get into that box?
I would say I'm going to go with Dan. Obviously, he's quite new to the team, but he's made a really good impression. He's eager to learn. He's heading up one of our newest vendors as well. So I think, yeah, he's definitely Mr. Eager.
He is. So I don't know if some of you guys probably saw last week, we had our official launch of Log with him, and it was all centered around Star Wars because of May the 4th. And actually, we had a bit of an internal incentive for who was Jedi of the week, who was the best performer throughout the Log with him team last week, and it was Dan. And hopefully, with the magic of editing, we can put a picture of Dan dressed as a Jedi. He's going to help me if we can get this photo up. But there is a picture of Dan dressed up as a Jedi, hopefully on the screen right now. So don't blame me, blame Danielle, because she mentioned you. So there you
go. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, some good answers. I can't wait for your team to watch this, Danielle.
Yeah, good. We've been popular, not.
So the first question for me, as you went into sort of your new role as sales manager of the CAMs and obviously still working on Yubico, how have you found that? How have you managed your time between sort of, leading that team, but also having a great performance on one of our key vendors in Yubico?
Yeah, I think for me, when I started the role, it's for me to kind of identify where there are gaps and where I need to kind of spend my most time, ensuring that I'm giving enough support to the team and to those who need it the most, but also making sure that I've got that balance right and still heading up the Yubico team. Obviously it is challenging, but it's just about prioritizing, I think, and kind of that time management.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And Yubico, it continues to grow. It's like a runaway train. We had the best ever year last year in terms of performance. We're carrying that great pipeline in. Partners are loving it. What's going on? What's the secret? Don't tell everyone the actual secret, but what's going on?
No, never the secret recipe. No, I think for me, it's the great relationships that we do have with both the vendor and our partners. I think Yubico itself, it's a great piece of tech. It kind of sells itself in the sense it's a key and it's a hardware. But I think because now we're at the stage where the partners are really bought into the tech, and they're at that level now where they're fully kind of, a lot of them are now kind of coming into that proactive stage where we've enabled them and they kind of go off and sell themselves, and with that obviously we get opportunities in return, so it's really great. It's a great time to be part of it.
I think you've given away a little secret, but I don't mind. But that is the key: is how you guys enable the partners. No one's going to sell something they're not comfortable and confident talking about, and they're not going to sell. They don't see the value to their end users. So I think that's what you do a great job, and the rest of the team do, enabling the partners so they can have those great conversations. And you're right. We get fantastic support from the likes of John and Bettina at Yubico. It's one of our longest standing vendors, and it continues to grow. So, and you guys, especially you, Danielle, have been integral in that performance. So I think we're not even sort of hit the bell curve yet. We're still sort of on launch mode with those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's so much more for Yubico. I think this year we'll really see some great opportunities come off the back of it, and I think we're just on another year for growth. So yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah. Big one for me. Obviously, we had our all hands kick off for the financial year back in April too, and the big thing from the sales part of the organisation was it's the year of the relationships, and we're not talking about our personal one, don't worry, but it's talking about how crucial our relationships are with our vendors and our partners, and how that's integral to everyone sort of getting value out of channel and value out of the vendors we work with. So, year of the relationship, what does that mean to you?
I think it kind of, relationship wise, it stands outside of the business, so vendors and partners, but also internal as well, to make sure that as me as a sales manager now, I've got to make sure that I've got a good rapport with my team. I'm building on those relationships every day, but also between teams, so making sure that the sales team is syncing up with the tech team, marketing, to make sure that we're kind of one well-oiled machine.
Yeah, I think that's an extremely good point, because we always talk about how rapidly we're growing. It's keeping those relationships internally as we continue to grow, and the key things which make us so successful is the heart rating we do. So it's incredibly important. And I think that what you mentioned before about relationships with our vendors is it's the integration piece we've got as well. Yubico, there's always that slide we throw up, which has quite literally got hundreds of different integrations, and it's how do we utilize those relationships with our vendors around that integration piece to make it more of a solution sell for our partners. We always talk about sort of the three with Okta, you become beyond identity. There's a great story to tell there, isn't it, for our partners?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that will only grow, our strategic vendors this year. I think, it's going to be a really exciting year for Distology.
Yeah. Last question for me. What's next for you and your team? How's May shaping up? What plans have you got in place?
Yeah, so I think for me, it's still kind of getting to grips with everyone's specific day-to-days, making sure that I'm supporting the right areas. But yeah, there's the Quota. I don't want to tell you too much, Steve, because
no, that'll be on that.
Yeah, the Quota's looking really, really healthy at the moment. So
everyone's watching this. It's
but yeah, no, I think we're on track for a really good quarter. So it's just, for me, it's just to make sure that I'm kind of giving the team the tools to kind of, push themselves and show the best value that they can do. So
perfect. Well, again, Danielle, it's a massive congratulations, and this is probably one of the biggest congratulations, if that makes sense, in terms of you've integrated so fantastically well into your role, but you've also still carried on that fantastic performance. So it's a massive well done for me. Very proud of sort of you coming into that role and the impact you've had already.
Thank you very much, Steve. It's a pleasure. I've enjoyed all my time here so far. So yeah.
Good. Even when you get your targets, yeah? Always end on, I bombarded people with some tough questions on this. I always throw it back to you. One question only back to me, within limits. The floor is yours, Danielle.
So, as obviously the world is opening up again,
yes.
Hopefully holidays are on the agenda. Where are you going to go? What's your first destination?
It's good timing, actually. So I'm actually officially on holiday this morning. So I'm off the rest of the week. So it's Wednesday today. I'm off Friday. I'm actually going to like a little funky Airbnb where it's got a bit of a hot tub. It's out in the country. And I realised when I booked it, I'm getting quite old now because I'm quite looking forward to a bit of peace and quiet, no noise, no traffic, no bars, and just go for a few walks and relax. So I'm completely mugging myself up here, and street it was already small, it's completely gone now, but that's it. I mean, the ultimate aim when things are open back up is go to Miami. I've had a whole day planned before this all kicked off, but it's just to go back over there. And I mean, God knows when, but it's looking much more positive, isn't it? And I think it is from our side too. Obviously we can see you back in the office. We're phasing people back in, albeit safely. And I think that's just creating a buzz anyway, because how we work as a team is collaborative in terms of speaking to our partners and things like that. And I think that's been so nice for me to sort of see sat in the corner of the office, just hearing that buzz again. And the office has been great. Yeah,
it's a really nice vibe. And for me, I think it's integral that I'm kind of in here more often than not. To just be here for the team, but also I think the team are really, really enjoying just being amongst each other, having that kind of sales floor buzz again, which is really, really nice.
Fantastic. Well, that wraps it up for April's edition of Salesperson of the Month podcast. You can get us on iTunes. I might listen to myself back on one of my little romps I haven't got walking boots. Can you imagine me in a little backpack on thermos? Off I go. So you can listen to that. You can watch it on YouTube too to see how bleary-eyed we are at this time in the morning. But thanks again for listening, watching, and we'll catch you on next month's edition.